Welcome to Joy Business News Desk. The Ghana Education Service has released the Assistant Headmaster of Nkwetia Presby Senior High School of his duties after allegedly assaulting a female student who was reported to have left campus without exit. Also, the minority demands thorough investigation by Parliament's committee investigating the leaked tape on alleged plot to remove the IGP from office, citing disturbing revelations.
We have such characters in the police service who do not see themselves as professionals, but as MPP party apparatchiks. Thank God to save our country.
And in this week's edition of Stories of Hope, we delve into the inspiring journeys of two friends who have transformed their status of unemployment to budding entrepreneurs.
Job, you go to work every morning, and then you wake up one day and they say the company has taken over.
Yeah.
So first of all, I lost my livelihood. I lost my lifestyle.
We have details of these stories plus business and more all in this hour. Stay with us. Welcome back. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Now the details. The Ghana Education Service has relieved the Assistant Headmaster of Nkwetia Presby Senior High School of his duties. The headmaster is reported to have physically assaulted a female student for leaving the school premises without securing an exit. The incident has since sparked widespread outrage and public condemnation, with many calling for a swift action. A statement issued by the Ghana Education Service has since condemned the violent attack. It also underscored the commitment of the service to protecting the welfare of students under its care. It stated that such behaviors are not only unacceptable, but also a breach of the fundamental duty educators have in nurturing a safe and conducive learning environment for all students. The Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG, has condemned what it describes as invasion and a barbaric attack on the Tamale District Court by some unscrupulous persons. 3 people, including a police officer, are still in hospital after sustaining injuries during a riot which broke out at the court yesterday. Now, information available to JoyNews indicates that there was a shooting incident at the court where a man who was allegedly peddling medications illegally was standing trial. Some angry residents allegedly stormed the court premises and pelted stones at court officials and security personnel on duty. The police intervened by firing warning shots to disperse the angry crowd. 13 people have so far been arrested in connection with the attack. My colleague Martina Bugri joins me via Zoom for an update on the development. Martina, is the court open for operations this morning?
Yes, the court is open, but they are yet to begin sitting. When I went to the court this morning, the supervising judge was meeting with his team at the court premises. And so after the meeting, we are told that they would begin working this morning. But as at the time I visited the place, they were yet to commence sitting for the day. But I was also at the police station this morning. It's been difficult getting information, but what we do know is that the IGP had sent a team from Accra, and they are meeting the top hierarchy of the regional command here. So as at the time I was at the police station, they were having this meeting. At the hospital too, I saw the gentleman who was operated upon. Even though I've not been able to speak to him because hospital authorities say they have to go through the protocols to give me clearance, I saw him lying on the bed. When he was asked how he was doing, he smiled back and said he was doing well, a sign that he's recovering. But one thing I also saw was that he had a handcuff on his hand. Yesterday, I'm told that yesterday in the evening, somebody who was in handcuffs led the police to the hospital where the man was on admission. And I'm sure that is how come he's also in handcuffs this morning. But there's been limited information on what transpired, and he's also in handcuffs this morning.
But at the court premises, is there some form of security beefing up at the place to prevent another attack?
I could count close to like 10 security officers this morning at the premises when I visited.
Okay. What about JUSAG? Is there any steps they are taking to avert a future repeat of this?
When I spoke to the hospital, when I spoke to the registrar, he says that until the meeting is over, they are unable to give any information, and that information will come from the administrator of the court. And so we need to wait for that meeting to be ended, and then we can get information on what they are going to do next.
All right, thank you so much, Martina Bugriza, correspondent in Tamale. Now we go on the lines and speak to Samuel Afote Otu, President of JUSAG. Mr. Otu, thank you for your time here on News Desk. Tell us about some of your members who were attacked. What is their condition?
Okay, thank you and good morning.
Morning.
Everybody, yes, everybody is okay. Everybody is fine today.
Right. And what have you gathered in terms of circumstances leading to this particular attack?
Well, actually, we heard it and then we came out with a release. So we are now waiting to see what happens. But currently, the suspects are under police custody for investigation.
Have you had any communication with the police on the matter?
Well, actually, even though we are issuing statements, we have management and Chief Justice, Judicial Secretary, and then, in fact, they are our administrators. So they are doing that on behalf of the members.
Does this in any way put some fear in your members moving on with such an incident happening? What alternatives or are there any measures you are putting in place to protect your members? I mean, in case something like this sort should happen again, or either way to prevent it from happening again?
Sure. Members are afraid now because of this incident. In fact, this is not just the first time. Just last week or so, same incident happened at Kaneki when a suspect was put in a police vehicle. The members or the supporters of the particular suspect were forcing to push that person out, pull him out of the car. And this is becoming rampant these days. So what we are trying to do is we want management and then the police service, especially IGP, to reinforce their security mechanisms, especially when there is such criminal matters pending before the court. We want them to maybe put in more police officers on board to make sure the peace will prevail.
But Mr. Otu, seeing that this is not the first time something of this nature has happened, what do you suspect is fueling this kind of attacks at the court and on your members?
Well, actually, I can't really tell. I don't know what is actually happening. We are now doing our investigation to see what the cause may be. But what I want to urge Ghanaians to know is we are in democratic state.
Unfortunately, we are having...
You have a right to. You don't attack the court, you don't vandalize the court, you don't do anything of that. Just hoping that people will understand this context. Then we do that.
Well, Mr. Afototu, I'm very sorry, but we lost you halfway in your presentation. Can you please repeat what you said earlier?
What I'm saying is that Ghana is a democratic state now since 1992, and we should know what the court does and then what they can do. So I just want to urge the general public that judiciary exists for all citizens and that justice is administered in accordance with the law, irrespective of the person involved. All citizens owe it a duty to support our cause to operate in an atmosphere free of all forms of intimidation and violence. So people should know that when you go to court and then you lose, you have the right to appeal. You don't attack the court. You don't vandalize the court. So we want them to understand that context. And then when we do that, I think we will live in peace.
Thank you very much, Mr. Otu, who is president of JUSAG. The minorities demanding a thorough investigation by the Parliamentary Committee into the leaked IGP tape that has been authenticated. According to the minority, the additional revelations by the prime witness Daniel Bugu-Nabu so far are damning and puts the country's stability, especially the pending elections, at risk. Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Kofi Amabwa is therefore demanding the committee to get to the bottom of the case.
Even with the first day of hearings, it is very clear that indeed, as the testimony went, and I'm trying not to get into the work of the committee, but it's very, very clear that the authenticity of the tape, that indeed this happened, that indeed there was an occasion where this tape was recorded. And so I think that it confirms the worry I had. And I wish the committee well. I believe that they will get to the bottom of these issues and to make sure that all the fears of the people of Ghana who have listened to this tape are addressed. I mean, it should not happen in Ghana that people who have been entrusted at the highest levels to basically protect and safeguard the interests of the people of Ghana and the stability of this country in terms of security, especially when it comes to elections, see themselves as basically working in the interest of a political party to basically ensure a certain outcome. That is a nightmare. If indeed we have such characters in the police service who do not see themselves as professionals, but as MPP party apparatchiks, then God should save our country. We must get to the bottom of it. And I believe that this committee will do exactly that.
The Southern Asogli Power Plant Limited, one of Ghana's successful independent power producers with a production capacity of 560 megawatts, is set to expand its power production capacity with the construction of a third phase of the project. The project, when completed, would add 508 megawatts of power to the national grid. Co-founder of the IPP, Togbi Afede, announced this at the launch of activities to mark the 20th anniversary of his installment as the Agbogbomethia of the Asogli State in Accra. There's more on the following report.
Notable projects that we have promoted over the past years include, and thanks to my friends from Shenzhen Energy, the 560 megawatt soon known as Asogli Power Plant, which accounts for 15% of Ghana's power generation capacity. And again, thanks to the support of the chiefs and people of Boom, who gave us land for the project. Thanks to the same support, Asogli Power is looking at the third phase of this project that will add another 508 megawatts of capacity. We also promoted Africa World Alliance, which is exploring opportunities for an aggressive coverage of all of West Africa and beyond, in an attempt to make Ghana truly an aviation hub in our sub-region. That is why I'll continue to dedicate myself to the noble fight, the battle against poverty, deprivation, and suffering. I look for the support of all of you as I intensify my efforts to bring development to our country. Major developments that I intend pursuing going forward include the following. Again, thanks to my friends from JoyNews Energy and Asogripa, whose chairman, Mr. Yan, is with us here. The 50 megawatt solar project in the north, which is ongoing, thanks to my colleague chiefs from Damongo in the Savannah region, who gave us land for the purpose. And 50 megawatts wind power project in Adan, again, thanks to the support of the chiefs of Adan Sege area. As you've heard, we intend developing the Ghana Aviation Academy to be based at the whole airport. We believe that would inspire a lot of our young people to pursue careers in aviation, while also boosting our tourism industry. I'm excited about the soon to be completed HAS Africa Sports Academy, which is a special gift to the youth of our country. It will be the most modern sports academy in the country.
Tagbe Afede is co-founder of Sonon Asogli Power Limited, and today on Stories of Hope, we take you to vibrant streets of Accra where two friends turn adversity into triumph, transforming their passions into thriving businesses. Emmanuel Tay and Emmanuel Tremantin, who despite facing challenges of job loss during the banking sector shakeup, have emerged as shining examples of determination. The following report delves into their journeys.
Hello. Yes, Quick Rent Africa. Emmanuel here. Okay, what kind of property is that? 2-bedroom apartment at La Paz.
In the heart of Accra, these two gentlemen have turned their passions into thriving businesses. Emmanuel Tay, 32, is helping a client find a rented apartment, and his friend Emmanuel Tremantin now constructs aquariums for homes and offices. But it wasn't all rosy 5 years ago, when these two were laid off their jobs.
Sources close to the Bank of Ghana indicate that the bank was forced to take the action because Barclays Ghana, which would soon be rebranded as ABSA, on several instances had breached market rules.
To the government, it was a banking sector cleanup, but to employees, it was an unemployment crisis. Several indigenous banks were either collapsed or merged between 2017 and 2019. Many employees went to bed and woke up the next day without a job. Tay was a victim of the restructuring and unexpectedly lost his position as an accounting manager at Beige Bank after 5 years. He said it was one of the lowest moments in his life. He lost his source of income, and trying to secure other jobs wasn't easy.
You have a job, you go to work every morning, and then you wake up one day and they say the company has been taken over.
Yeah.
So first of all, I lost my livelihood. I lost my lifestyle. You had a certain lifestyle. Imagine someone who was earning something little at the end of the month, and then all of a sudden I have to be home, and the idea of not having a job to go to itself became a bit depressing.
Just about the same time, Chairman Ting experienced the same predicament, and right from the breadwinner of his home, he started depending on his parents for handouts.
I was a field sale officer. As we go out and we speak to prospects on loans, we give out loans. So mostly I was on the field. Okay, so we can speak to the clients, okay, but taking back, once we give the loan, taking back is the problem. So I have to be laid off.
He began working menial jobs just to survive. However, unknown to them, these two were about to embark on remarkable journeys that would change their lives. Tre had loved aquariums right from his science class in school, but never had paused for a second to design them. But after he lost his job, he decided to turn his dream into reality. Instead of brooding over his problems, he used this period to experiment. Shortly after, he landed his first contract.
I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs who talks about how to, to be able to translate your passion into wealth or something like that. So when I was laid off, I thought of, apparently I saw one aquarium on the television. It was very nice. You get it? So that is also, I got my passion also from there, aside from the idea of the center table. So that is where I googled in Ghana to see if I can see any aquarium shops. So I saw some few, and then I paid them a visit, and I saw how they built it. So I went to the internet to learn more about it. So that is how come I started my aquarium. And in fact, the first order I had was very huge, was very big.
Ted tried many times to secure a job but failed. The COVID-19 pandemic threw a spanner in the works. He stumbled upon an opportunity when renting accommodation became daunting. He decided to turn his predicament into a business, got in touch with a close friend in Kenya, and Rent Africa was born.
I had an experience that gave me a rude awakening. So I was actually, like I told you, I got other job offers. So I thought, let me take one of them and survive with it. So one of the job offers I got was in Accra here. My job with Headmaster was in Tema. I was actually living in Tema. So now I had to find an apartment. Okay. Finding an apartment became an uphill task. So agents would toss me up and down, and I was quite desperate. Eventually, I got, swindled of about 3,000 cedis, and I didn't have the money already. So you can imagine.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, this is a problem. Like I told you, I've always been entrepreneurial. Okay. I thought, can I find a solution to this problem? Because I spoke to a couple of people, they have the same challenges. Can I find a solution and commercialize it? So that's what gave birth to Quick Rent. I wanted to build a platform that would help people to sit in the comfort of their home or office and then just plug in and get an apartment without going through agents and all their wahala. Hello. Yes, Quick Rent Africa. Manuel here.
His business is just a little over 2 years old, but it is doing really well. He is optimistic his company will soon become a household name in Africa.
The company is new. I've invested a lot of money already. I'm even out. Okay, there's more I need to do to grow my team. Okay. Like, for example, I need 120 brokers across the country. Okay. I only have a team of 16 right now, so you can imagine.
You have a wide gap to fill.
You can imagine. You need to get people, you can pay them. So the dream is, I'm actually looking for an investor to help me to be able to expand my team to cover the entire country. Then our next stop is we are going to Nigeria. We already have a partner who have done the feasibility for us. Okay. Their economy is very large, and therefore the problem we are looking at here is quadruple that size in Nigeria.
Tre's aquarium pieces are breathing life into dull spaces. He tells me he's fulfilled doing what he loves and grateful that he lost his job. Tre has big ambitions for the future.
Maybe we've crossed that break-even stage where now we are able to make a reasonable amount that I can say that maybe in the next 1 to 2 years, maybe we'll be able to get a very large showroom where we can let people come and also, because seeing people, they don't even believe it. So the problem I even have is even when a customer happens to fall interest, making payment is the problem because I don't have a showroom. That's how come when you came here, there are signboard and things to show them that this is where I am. And then the problems we mostly face nowadays is the trust. Let me put it that way, is a trust. But currently I can see that there's hope.
These two friends proved that setbacks are setups for bigger comebacks. They transformed job losses into opportunities and blazed into their passions, creating businesses that inspire us all. Now, between the years 2017 and 2023, at least 70 deaths were recorded at the Kanjaga Health Center in the Bulsa South District of the Upper East region, mainly due to the lack of an ambulance, which contributed to delays in referral cases. This is according to the health officer in charge of the facility, who made the revelation when the Rural Urban Partnership for Africa, Ghana, a non-governmental organization, donated a tricycle ambulance to the Kanjaga Health Center to support the provision of emergency health care in the district. Correspondent Albert Sori reports.
The Kanjaga Health Center provides health services to hundreds of people in dozens of communities here in the Bulsa South District of the Upper East region. However, the facility has been without an ambulance for many years now. Although the Bulsa South District benefited from the government's one constituency, one ambulance policy, officials here at the Kanjaga Health Center say it is often difficult to get access to that ambulance due to the fact that it is the only one serving the entire district and is always busy with too many cases. As a result, many patients here in Kanjaga who find themselves in emergency situations have had to rely on traditional means of transportation such as motorcycles. This sometimes results in delays in receiving medical care and ultimately increased risk of complications and even deaths. The health officer in charge of the Kanjaga Health Center, Daniel Aninaya Roxon, disclosed that the facility recorded about 70 deaths in the last 6 years, mainly due to such delays.
I came here since 2017, and I can say that for the case of referral, in the case of children, we've lost about 20, and then the adults more than 50. Okay. 3 days ago, we were having a labor case. The person came through breach presentation. It requires so many skills, and the last resort is what? Cesarean section operation, yes. Which this facility have not gotten that capacity. And so they have to link up with the assemblyman who are struggling, running here and there to get just any motorcycle to send them to Fumbisu or Sandema. And by the time we got the decision, the case lost the child. And so we have a lot of
That's
cases.
Recently?
Yes, just 3 days ago.
Some help has, however, arrived with the Rural Urban Partnership for Africa, RUPFA Ghana, a non-governmental organization donating a tricycle ambulance to the Kanjaga Health Center to support the emergency transportation of patients in the community. The tricycle ambulance is designed to navigate the rough road network of the villages, allowing health workers to reach patients in need quickly. It is also equipped with a siren and seats for health officials to be able to provide emergency care during transportation. Lily Osei is the country director for the Rural Urban Partnership for Africa, RUPFA Ghana.
In fact, we came here and I realized that we have a lot of communities depending on this particular health center. And then talking to the people, I realized that certain critical situations and emergencies, they have to use the motorcycle to even help pregnant women. And so we believe that bringing this tricycle here, this tricycle ambulance, will contribute to accelerating and achieving the SDG goals, especially the maternal and infant mortality, which is very dear to our hearts.
With their funding partners, Action Solidarity for Human Development, ASOD, France, RUPFA Ghana also supported the Basa and Wablinsa community-based health planning services centers in the Bulsa North municipality with a refrigerator each for the storage of medicines. Christophe Lafogli works with ASOD.
For us, it's very common to work in partnership with NGOs. We started more than 2 years ago to have some projects in development in Ghana, because we want to improve the situation in different kind of things, as in health, in education, and also in water, in providing good quality for drinking water. So that's why we started a partnership with ROPFA in order to improve the CHIPS compound and the health center by providing them some medical stuff.
All the items donated to the 3 health facilities, including 10 benches, were valued at 62,400 Ghana cedis.
We have been relying on the national ambulance, which is at Fumbisi district, and that takes the whole of Busa South. So at the need of the ambulance, when you call, they can say that they have taken some other person or other cases to a referral center. The ambulance definitely will hasten the referral services, saving the life of the mother and the baby and other clients that will come there.
For JoyNews, Albert Sori, Kanjaga, Busa South District.
President of the Ghana Institute of Architects, Foster Osai-Akono, has urged government to assign architects to metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies throughout the country to serve as technical advisors. Architect Foster Osai-Akono also noted that lack of architects in the Upper West region is a disservice to the people, as only 1 out of the 11 MMDAs in the region has an architect. He spoke after a town hall meeting held in Wa as part of activities marking the 60th anniversary celebration of the institute. Rafiq Salam has more.
The Ghana Institute of Architects, GIA, is a body that derives its existence from the Professional Bodies Registration Act 1973, NCRD 143. The practice of architects is regulated per Architects Act 1969, NLCD 357, with Architects Registration Council of Ghana, ARC, an agency of the Ministry of Works and Housing as the regulator. President of the GIA, Architect Foster Osai-Akono, expressed concern over the uncontrolled nature of development in the country, who does not respect the building regulations.
As architects, we are not enthused with the built environment being created day in and day out in the entire country. The uncontrolled nature of development, which does not respect the building regulation, building code, and other statutory documents governing the management of the built environment. The question one may ask is, who are the managers of the built environment? Let us take note that the trained eyes of the architect sees things in the built environment that the untrained or ordinary eyes of the populace are unable to see. Let us therefore collaborate to make the built environment of Upper West region the one that we will all be proud to relate to.
Out of the 11 municipal and district assemblies in the Upper West region, only the 1 municipal assembly can boast of having an architect. He therefore urged the government to assign architects to the other 10 MDAs in the region to help in their work.
We must understand that architects are visionaries. They direct the development of the built environment 3-dimensionally. And that if they are not posted there, it becomes challenging. We submit drawings to the assemblies. The assemblies do not have the knowledge, most of the assemblies, especially here in the Upper West region, to even read the drawings, let alone give them. We are available to support the government. We have been saying, and we continue to push, that we can send on the average 2 architectural firms as a short-term strategy to all the assemblies throughout the country as technical advisors, whilst government prepare to employ architects permanently to assemblies.
Our Power Sudan Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Sali, in a speech read on his behalf by the Chief Director of the Upper Sudan Coordinating Council, Peter Mala, described the role of the architect as visionary. He noted that the concept of physical infrastructure development within the built environment begins with design by the architect.
The architect is therefore the designer of a society's built environment and thereby provides one of the most vital of all human needs, that is shelter. The architect is the team leader in the built environment and in the performance of his duties or her duties is referred to as a visionary, a regulator, an integrator, an environmentalist, as well as a preservationalist in the process of national development.
The town hall meetings organized by the GIA are part of the Institute's corporate social responsibility lineup to mark the 60th anniversary of the Institute. 12 of the town hall meetings will take place in 12 regions this year, while the remaining 4 regions will have their 10 next year. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam.
In a time when dreams were merely whispered wishes and opportunities seemed scarce, one man's unwavering determination led to the birth of a school. Over half a century ago, he planted the seeds of education that would go on to bear the most remarkable fruits, a legacy of great personalities. Inspector General of Police Dr. George Ikufo is one of the luminaries that the institutions has nurtured. He expressed that Nana Opoku, the founder of UPSA, has played a pivotal role in cultivating remarkable individuals like himself, for whom gratitude will endure eternally. There's more in this report by Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
In history, there are those whose visionary pursuit plants the seeds of greatness, yielding a harvest that spans generations. Almost 5.5 decades ago, an audacious individual, Nana Opoku I, embarked on a mission to ignite the flames of education. Little did he know that his humble beginnings will give rise to a profound legacy, nurturing exceptional individuals who will shape the world. He is the founder and first director of the Institute of Professional Studies, IPS, now University of Professional Studies, UPSA. He is now 95 years old and the product of his hard work, and decided to give him flowers while he is still alive. Among these remarkable fruits stands the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ikufo, a testament to the transformative power of this man's vision. Dr. Dampare revealed that Nana Opoku I is a visionary figure whose influence goes beyond the classroom.
We've made a huge difference in the lives of uncountable number of people that you will never know them all. Whatever happened in the cost of the establishment of the school up to this point, it was divinely calculated. If those things had not happened, maybe the school couldn't have been where it is today. And if I want to be very proverbial and probably philosophical, I would say, Papa, we were just a tree, a seed planted, became a tree with branches and started bearing fruits. But in your case, the fruits were not meant for consumption alone, but for replantation. Professionals who are imparting this country at all levels, and that is what you demonstrated. You have nothing much in terms of material wealth to show, but what satisfaction will that give you compared to what is happening to you today, and you knowing that by your action there has been a creation of international forest of human beings imparting society, and you becoming a transgenerational blessing.
This story is not confined to one voice alone. Global President of UPSA Alumni, Francis Dadzie, adds another layer to this narrative.
We came to realize that the man was alive. When we went to school, he was not there. We used his buildings. And when we heard that he was alive, we decided to look for him. And we also heard that his birthday was coming up. So we decided to come and honor him and to thank him for the seed that he sowed so many years ago, which some of us, but for that, myself, the IGP, okay, Asante Hini Otufo, we will not have a honorable Kandapa, the immediate past auditor Dom Levu. For us, we will not wait for him to pass on and go to his funeral. We will honor him while he's alive and come and acknowledge that, Nana, we are fruits of your labor. Even though the school was taken away, he doesn't see it. We are coming to show ourselves that we went to your school, we studied, and we are who we are today.
Nana Opoku Ampo I is a hero who represents resilience and mentorship, and indeed, he has had a profound impact on tertiary education. For JoyNews, Jacqueline and Suma Yeboah.
And on this note, we take a break. We'll be right back with business.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Members of the Ghana Hotels Association are expected to march towards the premises of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission today. Ahead of that, President of the association is addressing the press on their concerns about the increase in utility tariffs. Let's listen in.
Bluntly, the administration of the Tourism Development Fund has denied tourism trade associations the needed financial support to be effective partners in the public-private sector collaboration space. Another worrying trend, and this is very important, another worrying trend over the past few years has been the lack of accountability in the disbursement of the fund. We call on the board of the Ghana Tourism Authority to revisit the proposal for a portion of the fund to be allocated to functional tourism trade associations every year to support the aspiration of the associations. We also call on the board to revert to the old practice where the stakeholders were updated regularly on the inflows and outflows of the fund. The Public-Private Partnership Forum, this is the last one. The Public-Private Partnership Forum, which we are all used to as PPPF, is a provision in the Tourism Act 817 that is structured to ensure regular, and that's quarterly, engagement among stakeholders in the tourism and hospitality sector with the aim of discussing challenges facing the sector and looking for ways to addressing them thereof. The association believes that the enormous benefits embedded in the PPPF is yet to be tapped, and steps must be taken urgently to address it. A case in point is the recent Presidential Summit on Tourism held on 30th and 31st May 2023, which had all the elements of a PPPF. The President was there, private sector was there, academia was there, all the gurus in the industry were there. A number of important issues were raised at the summit, which when addressed will go a long way to advance the growth and tourism in the country. Unfortunately, almost 3 months after the summit, there seems to be no roadmap for addressing the issues that were raised at the presidential summit. The association has also raised a number of issues, such as mandatory membership of hotels association by hotels, copyright royalty, funding of trading activities, all of which have not received the needed attention. The association is calling on the ministry and the Ghana Tourism Authority to work towards getting the most out of the PPPF. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen of the press, we trust that we have put out here this morning, or what we have put out here this morning will serve as a wake-up call to the government ministries and agencies to pay more attention to some of the issues confronting the hotel industry and the tourism and hospitality industry at large to ensure its sustenance and growth. As we say in our association, together we can make a difference. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen of the press, immediately after this conference, we are marching to the head office of the PURC to present a petition to the Executive Secretary. We have notified the police of this march in line with the Public Order Act. Thank you so much for your rapt attention.
In fact, this is what we are going through. People see us and they think we are rich, but they don't know we are suffering. The president of Ghana Hotel Association has finished, but we'd like to hear from our sister organization, our sister association. Reverend Jida, maybe you have something to add to what the president has just said.
Yes. As far as we all operate the same facilities, whatever Ghana Hotels are going through, we are also going through the same thing. Day by day, night by night, I share ideas with Dr. Nyamike. When we receive our bills, I immediately called him and I said, this is what has happened. And he said, yes. He also received, but he thought there is a leakage in his hotel. So we said, then let's look at the best way to address. We wrote to Ghana Water first. There was no response. We wrote also to the head office. Then PURC, they responded. And as Doctor have indicated, the same answer was given to us. So how can we be operating a facility and high costs? We are not selling water. Water is part and parcel of our service. So anyone that comes to the hotel, by all means we use water, but we are not selling it. So they're supposed to understand where we are coming from. They say you are using the water to do business. It is not the water that we are using to do business. It's part of our service. If you go to a hotel and there is no water, you can't be comfortable because hotel facility is supposed to give security, comfortability, and service. And water is part of our service. I believe that in his address, he didn't even go to electricity. Why? He mentioned it, the increment, but we understood how electricity were also increasing, according to what PURC have indicated. But for water, from 13 Ghana cedis or 13 point something Ghana cedis to 30 Ghana cedis. From 11, first it was 9 in September. And they increased it, then it went to 11. And 11, we're expecting that the second quarter will be better. That is, okay, 13, then it shoot to 30, which is high. Hotels that are being built around 800 Ghana cedi, now it's about 4,000 something. And no hotel at the moment, because clients are not there. Customers.
The Ghana Hotels Association addressing the press ahead of a march to the premises of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. They are raising concerns about the cost of water and electricity. We keep following that for you. We'll bring you updates subsequently. You're watching the news desk. Mamiesi will be back in a bit.
Welcome back. I'm Amesi Nyamiche Thompson. Now, Gold Line Mining Company Limited is investing part of its profits in the improvement of road network in the Amansia South District of Ashanti region. A total of 2.5 kilometers of road will be reshaped with 8 major bridges and drains constructed under the project. This is in response to an appeal for the company to adopt the initiative as part of its corporate social responsibility. Nanaya Aljima has more on the following report.
In the rainy season, many communities are cut off due to flooding and the rough nature of roads in the Amansia area. Farmers are unable to visit their farms, sometimes for days.
On rainy days, we find it difficult to go to our farms. Sometimes we don't go because it floods.
Roads in the Manso Enclave, a major area for gold production, remain in poor shape. Government has already commenced construction of about 60 kilometers of road, including 25-kilometer highway to link Ashanti and Western North regions. Nonetheless, some areas are yet to be served. District Chief Executive for Amansia South, Clement Opoku Jemfi, is optimistic the partnership with the mining company for the 2.5 million kilometer road will largely benefit communities.
As part of the corporate social responsibility as a company, they have also decided to heed to our call and construct 8 bridges in the Apunapon Wahaso community, for which they operate within that community. So it's as part of their corporate social responsibility to construct 8 bridges and do some drain work for us and do reshipping as well. What you are seeing here is a farm, the road leading to their farms, and whenever it rains they find it so difficult to even get to their farms. So 2 bridges to be constructed here.
Already, most of the materials needed for the construction is secured for the project to take off.
Well, that's all we have here on Joy News Desk. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Thanks for joining us.